Hello, 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 hello. Hey, friends. If you're here stopping by watching this replay, thank you so much for checking it out. My name is Baba Brooks. I am a trauma recovery coach, and I love to empower survivors on their journey, not just surviving, but towards thriving. If you are new to my world, please visit svavabrooks.com to learn more about the coaching that I offer. I believe that we all come fully equipped with everything that we need to heal and restore. And my job is just to hold a safe space for you while you reconnect with those tools and the things that you already have in your body. So usually here we join for a check-in and visit with each other for a few minutes, and then we take on and dive deep into the topic of the day from our book, Releasing Your Authentic Self. So feel free to join us, and if you have any comments or questions or are looking for support, we welcome you, my friends. So if you're here right now, please say hello. Let me know that you're here so I can welcome you. Hey, Lady Leo, how are you doing today? Hey, friend. Can you give me a thumbs up? Can you hear me okay? I realized I didn't put my headset in, and I don't want to try to fix that now. You're hanging in there. I hear you. I hear you, my friend. These are challenging times for sure, for sure. I am glad that we are having over here dry weather. The sun was out earlier. It was beautiful out. I took advantage, went for a short walk. I've been spending quite a bit of time indoors over this weekend, looking at this most of the weekend. But it was good. It was all good. And yesterday I was catching up on sleep. So, hey, Lynn, how are you doing, friend? Hey, Sue, loud and clear. Thank you. Thank you. Well, you may hear some background noise today. And Kevin is already protesting. He thinks he's getting more food soon, but he's way off. He's way off. He's getting a bit bossy lately. I don't know what it is. Actually, I kind of know. I've been feeding him a little more than usual because he was sick, I wanted to make sure he was getting his medicine. I've been putting it in his food, and now I'm paying for it. Now he thinks he's going to get fed every hour on the hour. No. But good to be here with you guys. Lady Leo, between the journal question and therapy today, you're whipped. Well, my friend, you know what I say, right? The hard work of healing, it's not fun or pretty, right? A lot of the times it's not fun or pretty. So it gets easier, it gets easier, it gets easier. Or let me say the dips are further and further apart. So, Suze, I'll be suffering the next week. Our clocks go back next weekend, and the cat doesn't get it. I hear you, Sue. I hear you. It's like musical chairs here sometimes in the morning when the cats insist that I get up to feed them. 4:35-ish. I'm like, heck no. Heck no. When does it get easier? I knew a couple of you were going to call me out on that. When does it get easier? It gets easier when it's easier, okay? I know, my friends, and right now, easy peasy is nowhere to be seen. Nowhere, right? And of course, I don't know if you can hear Kevin. He's getting louder by the minute. I may have to go put him in a timeout. You're usually up around that time. Yeah, I wish. Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. And then I keep asking my kids, why am I have these cats? You guys wanted these cats. But I love them. I love them. But they sure push our buttons sometimes. Yep. I know. He's fine. No, let me tell you, he's fine. He's okay. He's in, he is not sick anymore, for sure. For sure. So I thought we start with a little check-in and maybe talk a little bit about grounding our bodies, doing, sharing some information about how we can get out of here for a little bit of time out and a break from this mind that is in a constant what if, worst case scenario, problem solving, looking through historical records, trying to find the solution to whatever is going on. What did we do last time? And it's exhausting. It is wearing us out. Oh my goodness, Lynn. You got a queen Brad with serious murder mittens pawing at you. I hear you. Kevin is not bad with that, but Penny, man, he's definitely due to have his claws trimmed. I don't have them clipped, but I just trim them because he has sharp ones and he uses them. Kevin doesn't. Or even hysterical. I hear you. So let's start with the scale check-in, right? On the scale, I usually do 0 to 10. So 0 being you feel freaking fantastic. Pink cloud, you're doing okay. You're doing amazing today, actually. 10 being not doing so hot, not doing so good. So where on this scale, if you were to give yourself a number, and it's usually the first number that pops in your head, where do you feel like you could place yourself today? .5, 7.5, says Lynn. Okay. All right. I think that's a little bit of a typo. You're fluctuating, yes. I get it. I get it, my friend. Anybody else? Okay. At a 2 in real time, but it feels like 12. Okay. Wow, there's a big swing. Probably an 8. All right. I was probably like a 7 yesterday. I was definitely, 7 on Sunday. I was tired after the weekend. I switched my days and nights around over the weekend to support a practitioner, TA retrainer that was doing a training in European time zone. Most of the people in the training were actually from Germany. So that was interesting. But I had Sunday to sleep and I had Monday to sleep. So Sunday after that, yeah, exactly. I was not doing so hot, but I enjoyed sleep. So I slept yesterday and I slept Sunday, and today I feel like I'm back to myself. So who else? Anybody else want to share where they're at? And if you're watching this replay, just do like a quick check-in with yourself. Just a quick check-in with yourself. Sleep, what's that? I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Well, I do my best to squeeze in as much sleep as possible. And I will sometimes nap in the afternoon too. If I don't get my sleep at night, I will see what I can do to get it in during the day, in between phone calls or to-dos. So, all right, my friends, I actually, pulled up here some 7 simple grounding techniques for calming down quickly. I just thought I'd try something new for us today, right? We have our usual, hey Liz, so glad you're here. Thanks for checking in. I'm so glad you're here with us. Lynn, please describe the notion of sleep. Sounds like an interesting concept. Yes, I hear you. Lady Leo, not being on social media has been amazing, but the stuff that has been coming up is icky, but knowing the process is what it is helps. Yes, it does. Right? Like they say, the only way out is through, my friend. And yes, trusting the process that your body is bringing to you what it is ready to be released. It's ready for your help to have it be released. That's the 12. Okay, got it. Only way past the pain is through it. There you go, Lynn. There we go. So, well, you guys know my favorite way of grounding. It is right here in my right hand, placing that on my body, on my heart, and I'm actually moving my feet right now on the ground here. So I want to invite you, my friend, to just place your feet firm on the floor. Place your feet firmly on the floor and just move your feet around a little bit, meaning wiggle them in the shoes or the socks that you're in. Just give it a try for just a second. I'm looking up here, this page. And what I'm also looking at this page here, like I said, I found this article about 7 simple grounding techniques to add to the things that we go through a lot here together. She also talks about, and maybe you can try this some other time, is to, or you can do it now in your mind's eye, your imagination, pick your favorite color and draw an outline around each foot. Start at your heel and using your imaginary pencil slowly to go up the side of your foot to your pinky toe. And then make sure to draw around each toe and then go back towards the heel. And then repeat the other foot. Go up from the heel, up towards the pinky toe. Draw circles around each toe. And then back to the heel. I don't know about you, but my toes and feet started to tingle. Tingle. When I was doing that. Another thing she should suggest here is to get your adrenaline-fueled energy out, right? Move our bodies. Move our bodies. Walk up and down the stairs, take a brisk walk outside. She even suggests cleaning up the kitchen, the house, or the backyard, and dance around the house while listening to loud music. These things, from my experience, do help to calm the mind and get us out of our heads and into our bodies. I do a lot of dancing, actually. I have a playlist that I really enjoy. Are you guys with me on this? I was looking at your comments. Another suggestion is to pick a color and then look around your room and see how many things in different shades of that color can you see around the room or out your window. Pick a color. I pick the color red. As you guys can imagine, red is something I have a lot around me. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6, 7 things I can see immediately here. 8 around me in the color red and some shade of red. So there you go. Love dancing while I'm cleaning, especially an empty house. Sue said, I did a fair bit of gardening today. There you go. You guys are doing great. You guys are doing great. And then, of course, practicing a little bit of mindfulness. Let your thoughts come and go. Right? When we're anxious, our thoughts about our worries go around and round in our mind. Right? Never ending and building on each other until we feel drained by them. So imagine thoughts like leaves floating on the surface of a stream. When the thought pops in your mind, place it on the stream and just watch it drift away. Or for so many of us, as fall is coming and the leaves are literally being blown around the ground, imagine you're placing your thoughts on those leaves as they're passing through. Just taking that, plucking that thought out and watch it float away. Another thing she suggests that I also really like is to hold something and really focus on it. Here I pulled, this was a part of a keychain that a friend gave me. And I love this heart. It's a heart and a heart. And I love my crystals and rocks and my heart rocks that a few of you have. So hold it and really focus on it. See the patterns running through. And immediately when I held this, I could feel it in my heart, thinking about my friend that gave it to me. So there are some ideas to help to get us grounded. I've noticed keeping the baby keeps me in the moment and noticing what is here and now. Yep, that's a good one, Lady Leo. That's a good one. And the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique. I have done this with you guys before. 5 things you can see, right? 5 things we can see. 4 things you can feel. 3 things you can hear. 2 things that you can smell. Another favorite that I usually keep close, my joy oil. And I actually can still smell. I was, just before I sat down here, I heated up my leftover sweet potato soup, and I can still smell it, and I certainly can still taste it. It was delicious. Delicious. So that's another grounding technique. And the one last thing that she shares with us here is to sit back in your chair, right? Lean back and really feel the back, your back up against the back of the chair. And just notice where your body touches the chair. So now let's check in again. If you followed along and did a few of these, did it make a difference? Do you still feel the same? Lady Leo, are you on the 12th? Excuse me, right now? Are we still on the 7 or the 8? And if you are, it's okay if you still are, then we gotta keep going. Then we gotta keep going, right? What else is on your list of things to do to help yourself stay grounded and connected in some way, that we don't get lost in our mind? This busy, busy mind, right here, as I run my hands down my arms, I can feel the warmth. Just got the, I can feel the energy here in my shoulders and my arms now. So, my friends, so important that on the days where we think of it is to make a list of certain things that we know can help us to come back into the present moment, to feel grounded, make it a part of our self-care routine, especially right now. Especially right now. So I'd love to hear from you if this shifted anything, even if it was just a half a point. So the topic of discussion for us today from Releasing Your Authentic Self is around our needs. Knowing what you need and why you need it helps you to create a space in your life for it. Creating this space is an intentional process. You deserve to have what you need in life. And now it is up to you to make this happen. The 2 questions that I asked, what do you need today? And why do you need it? Right? And this is not from a place of why do you need it, like a criticism. No, because you want to get really clear. This is important to me. I need it. And the second question was, what affirmation can you create that will open a space in your life for this thing that you need? So I know this, can trip us up in all kinds of ways, right? So many of us grew up without our needs being met as children. Needs that we, were our birthright, being kept safe, being seen and heard and validated and deeply cared for by our caregivers. And when our needs weren't met in that way, then we struggle. For so many of us, our lot in life was to take care of other people's needs. And it was our job to make other people happy, or we did it to make sure they wouldn't hurt us, or it was tied into the belief, right, that we deserved just to focus on other people. And that if we deserved, or we dared rather, to ask for something that we felt we needed, perhaps we felt selfish, or were told we were selfish. So this is a challenge for sure. But again, to remember as we have become the adults is to recognize what are some of the needs that you have. And if we struggle with getting them met, then what kind of support do you need to make it happen? And I even can share with you guys, I know you know this about me, is that even some of my very basic physical needs, I was very disconnected from my body, and I didn't really recognize what my body needed for a long time. For a long time. And then when I recognized that I had some needs, and then there was the guilt and the shame that I didn't know how to do this in some ways for myself. And then there was the guilt, and then the resentment that other people were doing it, and I didn't. And so it's been a journey. And it is a process. And I'm still work in progress. So hey, Elizabeth, welcome. Awesome. Awesome, Lady Leo. Can't type today. It was hard to answer to today's question. I hear you, Sue. I hear you, my friend. And as always, just remember, it's okay, right? Make it okay that you didn't answer the question today. So I hear you, friend. I hear you, friend. So let's see. Lady Leo commented today and gave me permission to share. Let's see here. Lady Leo shares, this is such a difficult question for me to answer because it requires me to be vulnerable. But here goes. I need to be comfortable with being lonely. I know a great deal of people, both in real time and virtually. However, the emptiness of loneliness still exists. As far as what I need to happen for that feeling to leave, I believe lies within me, but has not been revealed as of yet. The affirmation I could create that would open up space would be, I am worthy of being a friend to myself to fill the space of loneliness. Beautiful. Beautiful, Lady Leo. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I want to open it up to anyone here. If there's one thing, just right here, that you can identify that you need and why you need it and how you're working on getting that need met. Or if this is something that you've already accomplished, you've recognized, yeah, I did struggle with this and I'm still work in progress, but I've come a long ways. I've identified my needs and I'm recognizing I struggle to ask for some of them or support with some of them. Some of it I struggle with giving to myself. I still have guilt around it or whatever might be coming up for you. But we can still celebrate. We can still celebrate. And the loneliness thing is a big one. It is a big one. Hey, I hear you. I hear you, my friends. So, Sue, was that what you were saying? Did you comment? Did I miss it? Or are you referring to something else? This is the downside when I go back and forth between a couple of screens. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. I guess I needed to refresh. I see it here, Sue. All right, my friend. Got it. Got it. So, Sue P shared with us, there's one area of my life where I feel like I've been stuck for a very long time, and I can get very despondent and frustrated with myself about it. I so much want to get past this, but I think what I actually need is to be able to accept myself as I am, even with the issue still unresolved. When I can't do this, I tend to use all my energy fretting about it. And that just wears me out and it doesn't solve anything. So, although I'm finding it hard to do, I guess I need to remember one of the affirmations on a sticky note in my kitchen. There is nothing wrong with me. Wherever I am, it's okay. Absolutely, Sue. This is a beautiful declaration of self-acceptance. There is nothing wrong with you, my friend. And yes, wherever you're at, it's okay. It's okay. You're doing a beautiful job of honoring your path and your process and your unique journey. So thank you for answering that, even though it was hard. Even though it was hard. So I understand like I said, this is tricky kind of on many, many levels, right? I struggled with being alone and felt lonely for a long time, and even felt lonely in a room full of people, right? And for me, this process was, helped when I did start my inner child process, when I became the parent and the protector of my child, my inner child. Then so much of that, loneliness or the desperation of also being abandoned, I was able to show up for my inner child. So when I could feel her, I was able to show up for her and sit with her and remind her that no, she wasn't bad. No, she wasn't going to be left alone. No, I wasn't going to abandon her. No, right? She was not in trouble, right? All the reasons that I had deep, deep core beliefs about at that point when I started my healing, that I deserved to be alone. Nobody cared. No one was going to come and rescue me. No one really loved me. No one, if they were there, they probably wanted something from me. So, like I said, a lot of it came from being very, very intentional of dropping into my body over and over and over again, and to sit with her, sit with them, right, at different ages, different stages of development, and hear their fear about loneliness and being alone or being abandoned, their worst fear. And then what has evolved for me personally, as my journey has evolved from becoming more of a spiritual journey, and I know, again, that can be tricky for us, is that, and for me, I was actually writing about this earlier today, that as I healed and connected to my body and my heart, the more I felt and the stronger I felt like I had a spiritual connection. That I found my connection to source, love, God, universe, whatever you want to call it. I found that through my body and felt that in my heart of hearts. And so now I draw upon that. And for me, my belief is that I'm never alone. And I pull on that. Yes, do I need people? Yes. But I pull upon that to fulfill my heart with the unconditional love that really no other human can give me. And I do that through my meditation or mindfulness practices, where I'm just reflecting. It's like so many of my conversations with spirit are conversations that I'm having in some ways with my body. And, sometimes it's a sensory awareness, and sometimes I literally hear the words. So, hey, Elizabeth, nice, good, I'm glad. And the more I've had these experiences, the more I've learned to trust them for me. I'm not going to push my experience or I don't even say expectations on anybody else, because I think it's a personal experience. But I do know that I had to be intentional about being willing to open up to the possibility, even though in the beginning I wasn't sure what it looked like and sounded like, and felt a little nervous about even trusting it. But I was curious about connecting with it. And it's definitely a source of peace and calm that I draw upon for me in my life. So, but I do recognize the struggle. It was not always easy or fun or pretty. But again, also when I took all those beliefs that I had and got really clear about them, we've talked about this. It's like you pull out that one belief at a time, write it down, and really dig into where does it come from? And is it serving you? It may have served you in the past. And is it serving you now? And that's where you get to choose. I understand, Sue. I totally understand, my friend. I get it. I get it. So honor your process, honor your journey, honor your timing. It's all perfect. It's all perfect for you. So thank you so much for sharing. Let's see here. Rob shared with us. He says, good to be here with you. I don't know that I either deserve to ask what I want or even know what I want. My affirmation, I have the inherent right to seek what I need and fulfill those needs to be happy. Yes. Yes, you do, my friend. Absolutely. And I'm sure you're not alone. Can we relate to what Rob shares here? Not knowing, maybe struggling with knowing if I'm worthy or if I deserve. I'm sorry, that's different. Deserve to ask what I want or even know what I want. You can't. All right, Sue. Liz says, there's a way I can open really easily to others, but the part that is stopped, it's something I can't reveal to my own self. I hear you. I hear you, Liz. You are not alone. You are not alone. And Rob, my friends, I hope you're feeling validated by our friends here today. You are not alone. You are not alone. And what was super helpful for me on the journey was to go to and learn about developmental stages of children, because a lot of my needs I recognized hadn't been met as a child. And then our needs, change as we age, right? And we learn, what are the things that we can meet for ourselves and what are the things that we're going to need, from our caregivers or other people around us. But if we didn't get any of those basic needs, then we're like, well, what do I do? How does that look like? Right? We weren't supported in that back and forth healthy relationship with our caregiver. So we don't really know, where do I end and you begin? Am I just here to take care of your needs? I have needs. Am I allowed to ask for them? So going and educating myself about the developmental needs of children was super helpful. And what for me sparked this was when I had kids. I was like, I don't know about parenting. I realized I hadn't been parented. And I also realized that my kids, when they were growing up, if there was a stage of their age where I was having a hard time being a mom, it was usually a stage where I hadn't been parented well, which was most of the stages. So going and taking a look at, what were some basic needs that I needed to have met at a certain age. And I would go and look at that, and I would be like, wow. And then I would actually work with my inner child on this, right? I would identify it. And then the book that I've recommended to a few of you, I'm looking at my bookshelf. I think I still have 2 copies of that book. Absolutely love it. Called Growing Up Again. And that book is a parenting book, but it also has like, how do you support a child at that certain stage of development? And then if you didn't get those needs met as an adult, then she outlines what are the stages that you can, what is it that you can do to reparent yourself during that stage. So if any of you guys are interested, I'm happy to share that book with you guys again. Maybe one of you would be willing to pull it up as we speak. It's called Growing Up Again. It's an older book, but I've still seen it available on Amazon. So yes, sometimes that feels like a big job, right? And a burden that here we are having to reparent ourselves, helping ourselves through some of these stages to recognize what are some of the needs that I can meet for myself, and how do I do that? And then what are some things that I can ask for from my friends and partners? And it's super helpful. And again, most of us also walk around with that thinking that there's something wrong with us, right? Or for me, it was since I didn't get those needs met, I must have been inherently bad. And so I felt shamed of myself, and that didn't help, right? For me to go, I don't know how to do this. Yes, I'm a grown woman and I have this need that I need support from someone else. So I had to stick my neck out a few times along the way on this journey. And I did that. I have good friends that I would reach out to, and I would explain to them what I was doing and why I was doing it. And I would just tell them up front, I'm kind of feeling a little embarrassed, but I know you know that I'm working on healing myself after trauma, and I'm learning that it's important to learn to ask for these things from safe people. And would you be willing to help me out? And I didn't have people say no. People said, of course, they're willing to help. And then a few times, it actually came about pretty quickly, because once I learned to get that from other people that I trusted, it also then became easier for me to provide that for my inner child. So Elizabeth's here. Even though I was traumatized, I feel more healed than the average person. So I keep encountering unacceptable behavior and I have to leave. I hear you, my friend. I hear you. For many of us, right, the healing journey, it's a good thing. We recognize all of a sudden, it's like, wait, no, that's not acceptable. I used to put up with that. Not anymore. I'm sorry, I'm out of here. Not interested. Not interested in hanging out or playing this game. And I've said that before. If you look out into the greater world, there's a lot of grown-up bodies, but a lot of people are very emotionally stunted and immature and struggling, and mostly because they weren't parented, either traumatized or didn't get their needs met as children. And so then they grow up to adults who are like desperately trying to manipulate or bully or push or abuse to get their needs met, because they're still stuck in like 3, 4, 5-year-old narcissistic point of view. Like, it's all about me. And unless we develop past those stages, people are literally stuck there. So I hear you, Elizabeth. But now when I see those behaviors, I have compassion. It's like, no, I don't want to deal with it, but I can have a compassion for their struggle. And I do hope that they find a way, right, to heal themselves or support to heal. And I think the good news that we are waking up to how we have parented kids, how we have educated children, how, right? I think so many of us are saying, no, there is no going back to normal because normal wasn't working. It wasn't working. So here's to creating something new, something better, more wholesome, holistic, inclusive. Right? For all beings. I hear you, Liz. I hear you. And what I've learned, I choose to keep my circle smaller, but more meaningful, and then having a big circle of people where it's not a very meaningful connection, or, right, it's not a mutual, equal exchange, adult conversation or sharing and responsibility in this relationship or friendship. So, but my life is has much less drama in it than it used to. I don't put up with that. And lately, I just attract awesome people like you guys. So why would I want to hang out with anything else? Right? So my friends, we're doing this. We're doing this. Each and every one of us here, we are doing it. The hard heart work of healing, feeling our feelings, being real, speaking our truth, showing up authentically. I am feeling fill in the blank. I need fill in the blank. Can I ask you, are you willing to support me here? You're right about that, Lady Leo. You're right about that. I hear you, Sue. I hear you. I hear you. It is a challenge when it's all online. And yes, and it's not a yes, but yes, and, right? And we're all doing our best to make it work right now, because all of us are being asked to physically isolate or distance. So using this means of video or connection is what's keeping many of us going right now. I've had such laughter today. I know my mom isn't watching here right now because it's meant to be a surprise for her birthday tomorrow. So I was actually on a video call earlier today with my siblings and her grandkids, our kids, and we were recording. I was thinking of you, Sue, because we were all on Zoom and we were singing happy birthday and recording it, and we were singing in Icelandic, and we were trying to all sing in sync, and forget it. We laughed so hard. So I know my mom has been struggling because we can't see her on her birthday, right? So we got together online and we sang, and it was hilarious. I was editing the video, and I'm going to upload it and send it to her so she'll get it first thing in the morning. But oh my God, is it funny? So I was telling them at the end of it, can you imagine, right? Can you imagine if there was thousands of us trying to sing? Oh my God. And my twin sister's partner, he plays the piano, and she was trying to do this and he was playing. And so anyways, so trying to stay connected. Well, EJ, we are still here. How are you doing, my friend? That's right, Lady Leo. That's right, Lady Leo. And I think I've shared with you guys a few years ago. Oh my God, right? 17,500 people in a virtual choir. That was, yeah, I was just cannot imagine pulling that off. So I lost my train of thought. Yes. A few years ago, almost 12 years ago, was it? I was part of a survey. This woman was interviewing survivors about their healing journey and level of support. And, she went down a bunch of questions, and then she asked me, do you have someone in your life that you can talk to about your healing journey, or a friend? And I told her at the time, yeah, I have at least 2. I had 3 actually at the time. And she was just like, wow, that's amazing. And then I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah, most of the survivors that I talk to have no one that they talk to about their healing journey. And that made me feel really sad, right? And I know all of us here, we understand it. But that was another reason why I was like, okay, we definitely need support groups for survivors. Because we all need to have more, at least 1, at least 2. And I've told you guys so many times where it got me through my first 5-6 years of my healing journey, where I was in that women's support group about my healing journey. I had them on speed dial. It was before we had the internet. So we had exchanged phone numbers, and there was always someone that I could talk to. And that is what we have in our group, my friends, in that space. You can post or ping someone and say, hey, is anybody here? Can we talk? Or you can share what's going on with you. Because you are not alone. There is someone out there in our space that knows how you feel. And I know it's hard sometimes to make that reaching out. And I know each of you here are doing your best to check in on each other. So hang in there, my friend. Elizabeth, I talked to you all about my healing journey. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Oh, that's great, Lady Leo. That's great. People are coming up with all kinds of ways to stay connected over this medium when there aren't any others right now. And this is probably going to be how we are going to stay connected for a little while still. So, yes, it's not perfect. But this is what we got. And I celebrate each and every one of you for being here, for showing up for yourself. Just to hang out in this space, my friend, you are rewiring your mind and your body. You are. You may not know it. You may not feel it. But you, by being here, are doing exactly the right thing for you to heal, to keep engaging in this conversation. I hear you, Liz. I'm so glad you're here. So glad you're here. And that goes for all of you. Lady Leo, I'm the sanest in your family. All right, whoa. Oh my goodness. See, I just adore you guys. You are amazing. And I also, Liz, I'm going to put you on the spot. I would love for you to share your painting, the last painting you did with us in the group. It's so relevant. It's so relevant. No, don't feel bad or guilty, Liz. Always welcome. You're always welcome. That goes for all of you guys. No, share it in the group. Post it in the Releasing Your Authentic Self group. I pulled a card for us. One day she woke up and counted her blessings. So, count your blessings, my friend. Practice gratitude. It keeps me going. And I count each of you twice. Because you are a blessing for me and you're a blessing for others. I should count you 3 times. You're a blessing for me, you're a blessing for others, you're a blessing for yourself. Wow. Just tripled my number, my list, my gratitude list. All right, sweet friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you, as always, for being here and for showing up for yourself and the tribe. And I will be back here on Thursday, same time, same place. Until then, stay grounded, stay connected to your hearts. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I know. There's always someone that needs to see the card. All right, sweet friends. Oh, no. Keep us posted, EJ. Keep us posted. Stay safe. Oof, oof, oof. All right, friends. See you in the group, and I'll see you back here. See you back here Thursday. Stay safe, everyone. See you next time.